Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to our channel today. It's good to have you. And welcome back to all of our subscribers. It's good to have you. And if you're new to the channel, if you're finding us for that very first time, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button. And then also to learn more about me and a host of ways that you can grow and develop your business, check out the links below, for additional information. And so with that said, our topic for you today, it's 18 things that people won't tell you about starting a gym business. 18 things people won't tell you about starting a gym business. And even, we're talking about, getting one started, right? New gym startup. But also, if you're currently in business, listen up. How do these look? How do these sound to you? Are you experiencing any of these things? And certainly if you're a gym owner or prospective gym owner, you want to take a look at each one of these. And then how do we mitigate all this? Okay, it's going to be one of the great questions. And then also, maybe if you're in sales or you're in other capacities, how can you apply this, to what you're currently doing? And so let's just start with number one of 18 things people will not tell you about starting a new gym business. Number one, it's lonely. I remember a client a while back. He had been a personal trainer at this facility. And he had got together the money and he acquired it. He became the new owner. He went straight from being the personal trainer to now he owned this thing. And he brought me on. We'd known each other previously, and he brought me on to assist him in getting the operation going. And he ultimately did a great job and expanded to multiple facilities, actually. But the thing that I remember him saying, kind of that realization, he goes, man, it's a whole lot different, going from personal trainer to sitting in that hot seat. Okay, when you're sitting at that hot seat, the buck stops here. Can be lonely. It'll just be you. Number two, business partnerships are hard. Business partnerships are hard. The companies that I get involved with that are new clients, okay, that have partnerships. More often than not, when we first start talking, my question is, well, what's one of the first things you'd like some help with? Where do you need help? He goes, Jim, can you help me get out of this partnership? It's just not working out. And could be not working out for a variety of reasons. And I've been involved with groups that had a full board of directors. You had 10 people at the table that were trying to get all of them out. And then others, maybe it's just one person to get out or two. And you got numerous issues involved there to be able to get that done. But just know that business partnerships are hard, okay? And in most cases, probably going to be a little more difficult than you might think, okay? One of the key things here is really clearly define everybody's role and what you're going to do. Because, one of the things we learn over the years when it comes to business partnerships and how you get money and all these things, all money is not the same. All money is not the same. So depending on how this partnership is going to work out, make sure it's clearly defined. Number three on 18 things people won't tell you about starting a new gym business, you'll be poor for a while. You'll be poor for a while. And what I always go back to on that is I remember opening up my first gym, okay? I think over the years, I probably did 7, maybe 8. I have to go back and look. But did a few of them. But I remember that very first one. And I was taking out just enough money to pay my bills. And that was it. Okay? I was poor for a while. Now, once we got it going, things changed and things were different. And that was great. But boy, for the initial stages there, because I think that first club that I did, we had a host of things kind of go wrong. It took us a year to get it open. And so I was poor for a while. I wasn't rolling in the dough, doing that first one. Okay. Number 4, it's way less sexy than you think it is. 18 things people won't tell you about starting a gym business. It's way less sexy than you think it is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening, okay? And, one of the stories I'm always reminded of, I remember, I think I had 4 clubs at the time, and I had an office that was, off-site, and we had a whole phone room in there, so it was really almost like it was a 5th club in many ways. And I'll never forget, I was in there on a Friday afternoon, and one of the direct mail guys came by that I'd gotten to know a little bit, did a lot of business with him, and he goes, man, Jim, you got it made. And I said, well, how's that? And he goes, man, you just lease up some space, you put some equipment in it, and you start selling memberships. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's all there is to it. Okay, and it's way less sexy than you think it is. There's a lot of moving parts, and a little bit I'd kind of compare it to running on a treadmill. As long as you got your head straight and you're clearly focused on where you're going and what you're doing, you'd be in good shape. But boy, you turn that head just a little bit, you might go flying off that treadmill. And it's kind of the same way, in running a fitness business. Okay. Number 5, you will doubt your abilities. There will come times when you will doubt your abilities. Okay. And it's key here, I think, that we associate with achievers, we associate with people that support us, that believe in us, and we're constantly looking for solutions, because sometimes you start adding all these things up, you can start to doubt your abilities if you're not careful. It's one of the reasons that I always suggest, hey, never go it alone. I mean, that's kind of what we do. We help new owners so they don't have to go it alone. Okay, or if you have an attorney that's been through this, or an accountant that's been through it, or anybody that's been through it, don't go it alone, because there will be a time where you probably will doubt your abilities to get this done. Okay, number 6, there will be times when you will think you are the only person that's gone through this. You will think you are the only person that's gone through this. Am I the only one this is happening to? And I know when I get involved with a lot of clients, and most of the time, new folks that we're getting started with, they're struggling a bit, and a lot of times they think, oh, it's me, nobody else is going through this. But a lot of the things that you're going through, many folks have gone through them before. Some have been able to find solutions, some haven't. You want to make sure you don't go it alone. You want to find someone who's been there. It's like, you've heard me say before probably, if you don't know where you're going, find someone who's been there. Okay. Number 7, you will cry. Okay. And maybe not cry. Maybe you might want to. Okay. But there will be times when it seems overwhelming. It seems like there's so much coming at you, and it becomes overwhelming. And know what your priorities are. Know what you're trying to do. And I can tell you this, one of the things that I learned early on, and it remains true, good sales, they'll fix just about anything. No matter what your problems are, no matter what they are, okay, they're going to seem a whole lot smaller if you're right in business, if you're making sales. Okay, so you'll have moments where you'll feel overwhelmed, but just know, you're making more sales. If you're driving more traffic in, getting more folks signed up, really does change, how you view everything. Okay. Number 8, you just never know what to expect. You never know what to expect. And, the story that always comes to mind for me on that is, I think, again, I was about 4 clubs at this time, and we'd gotten management, just everything. I'd learned a lot, and we'd made some changes, and things were going well. And we had all of our management in place, and we were really sitting in a nice situation. And it was maybe Sunday afternoon around 5 o'clock. I get a phone call at home, and I'm informed that, person I consider to be my best manager had been in a motorcycle accident, and she was at the trauma center. And as we then found out, that she was going to eventually, lose sight of one eye. And so it threw everything, upside down again. And just a quick sidebar, she survived, she did well, she came back, and she was as great as ever. So, good stuff there. But you just never know, what to expect. Okay? I mean, I can think of times where, even as a club manager, I get a call at 2 in the morning, like, Saturday morning, the assistant manager who's running that day saying, oh, he can't make it in, so I have to go in. Okay? So you just never know what to expect. Number 9, mistakes will be inevitable. Mistakes will be inevitable. It's going to happen. Okay? I mean, my whole attitude on mistakes, I accept that they're going to happen. And I'd rather make the mistake because I'm too aggressive than too passive. I'm making the mistakes, I'm pushing forward. Okay? And I remember, first club that I ever opened, and we were doing newspaper advertising. We had two big newspapers in town, and both of them big ads were going out, and we're ready to roll, and these things are coming out. And go get the paper, open it up, there it is, looks fantastic. and the phone number 0000000. Okay, an ad agency put it in, and they just used the mock-up that was in the original information we sent over. And so we had no phone number. Now, we ended up getting like 75 phone calls that day, so it worked out all right. But mistakes are inevitable. They're going to happen. I kind of accept them going in, and then we're in the solutions business, and we'll find the best way to handle it. Okay. Number 10, there will be times when you're going to feel just clueless. What do I do? What do I do? Okay. And again, I think the key thing here, when you have these kind of situations, number one, is always be mindful. We want to protect our most valuable asset, and that's us. Make sure we're getting plenty of rest. Okay. Make sure you're maintaining your workouts. Make sure you're eating right. Doing all these good things, protecting your most valuable asset, surrounding yourself with people that are your trusted partners. Okay. And staying associated with, positive people, because there will be times when you're clueless and you're going to have resources you can go to get the answers. You may not get the right answer the first time, but you'll eventually get it if you have that in place. Okay. Number 11, don't find yourself comparing yourself to anybody. Do your deal. Do your deal. Don't compare yourself to anybody. One of the things that I see a lot, this is with existing clubs, is I'll ask them, well, hey, where'd you get this idea? Where'd this come from? Well, what makes you do this? And one of the common answers is, oh, that's what the club down the street's doing. Doesn't mean it's successful. It doesn't mean it's working. Okay? Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean it's working like it should. Okay? So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Go out there and do your deal. Work your program. Okay? Number 12, this may not work out. Statistically, speaking, it's a statistical reality. If you're opening a new business, this may not work out. Everybody thinks, oh, we're, coming up roses. We're going to make all kinds of money. Statistically speaking, it won't, or at least some won't, right? Okay. So just know that's a truism. We don't want it to be you. That's why we offer, from my standpoint, all the help that we do to clubs. We want to help make sure you are a success. But many won't. Many will not make it. Okay. Number 13, fancy words will not cover up real problems. Fancy words will not cover up real problems. And or at least, we try to use fancy words, and don't try to justify stuff. Don't try to explain it away. Look at, when you're looking at real problems, more often than not, I'm looking at what I would call key performance indicators. What does the data tell me? What is the data telling me? And I can think this is the greatest piece of marketing on the planet, but boy, we're not getting calls. When we do, we're not setting them. When we do set them, they don't show up. When they do show up, we don't close them. Okay? The data is telling me what's going on. Okay, and across the board, closing percentages, whatever. Don't ignore the data. Don't let fancy words, try to cover up real problems. Okay. Number 14 on my list of 18 things people won't tell you about opening a new gym business. Hey, there are going to be times where you're going to be afraid you can't pay the bills, whether it be personal bills or business. You're going to be afraid you can't pay the bills. Okay, and those days will happen, and again, I get involved in a lot of clubs that are going through that at a time. And the key thing on this is, make sure you get a plan of action in place on how it's going to be handled, but also have good communication, with everybody that you owe money to. Number 15, your family and friends. They may question you or doubt you. What are you doing? Man, Jim, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, they question it, they doubt it. I remember when I was opening up clubs, I'd get people, Jim, when are you going to get a real job? Well, this is pretty real. Okay, people will question you and doubt you. And it's one of the things, if you're around folks that don't believe in you, okay, best advice I can give you is turn the other direction, run, and run fast. Okay, but family and friends, they'll doubt you and they'll question you. Those aren't the ones you really need to be associating with at this particular point. Number 16, You won't work 9 to 5 anymore. You won't work 9 to 5 anymore. Okay? I mean, really, it's 24/7. Now, you want to learn how to delegate, and we want to learn how to automate, and we want to learn how to do all these things. But just from a decision-making standpoint, particularly when you're brand new, I mean, your hands-on approach is going to be one of the secrets here. It's not going to be 9 to 5. You know, if you're getting into it thinking, oh, I'll get there at 9, I'll leave at 5, you know, for ultimate success, that's probably not going to be the case and probably not going to happen to you. Number 7, you know, say goodbye to a good night's sleep. Okay? And again, you know, whenever I talk to a new client that's opening a new club or expanding, you know, I always let them know my first goal, number one goal above everything else, is I want to make sure you sleep well at night. I don't want you worrying about how you're going to meet payroll. I don't want you worrying about how you're going to train that sales manager. I don't want you worrying about other things. And we're going to show you how to put a plan of action together, how to organize that so you're not worrying about this. Okay? The secret is take action. Okay, but say goodbye to a good night's sleep. You'll have those moments. Okay, and then number 18 in my list of things people won't tell you about starting a new gym business. If you build it, they may not come. You know, one of the common things that I hear is we're going to have such a great facility, you know, give such great service, have, you know, great innovative things. We're going to do great. And nobody comes. Now, in large part, that's because of marketing, promotion, advertising, prospecting. I mean, the number one issue of any new place opening is nobody knows who you are, and those that do don't have you at top of mind. And we have to make sure we really got a strong plan in place to really drive that. But if you build it, they may not come. We have to make sure they do. We have to get a plan in place to accomplish that. So, 18 things that people will not tell you about starting a new gym business. Take a look at those. Are you experiencing any of those right now? Are you thinking about starting a club? You know, have you considered any of this as part of it? Usually all we look at is the good. We have a lot of wishful thinking when we first get into it. Okay, all this can be overcome. Okay, just make sure you surround yourself with the right people, put yourself in that right situation. So folks, you know, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. If you have not yet done so, please hit the subscribe button. Please check out the links below to learn more about me and a host of different ways you can grow and develop your company. Many ways you can do that. And we look forward to seeing you all in that next video.